There's a short street, so.
That's right. So you guys can go outside and enjoy this lovely day because it looks lovely. I haven't been out there since this morning, but it is lovely. Nice to see, well, and I can see so many 4D1 students here. Very kind of you guys. So since there's really not much to talk about weather-wise, on the radio this morning I heard that today, if I can push the right button here, come on, here we go, is the anniversary of Sesame Street, and that just warmed my heart. So I just thought I'd pass that along to you guys. And fun fact, when I was little, Elmo didn't exist. So that's the on this date right now. But weather-wise and more seriously, for those of you who haven't heard of this incident, this is also the anniversary of the worst shipwreck in Great Lakes. And Bill is going to sing the song. It's a very depressing song. What's his name again? Gordon Lightfoot, yeah. But the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald on Lake Superior, sadly, they were only about 17 miles from land when it happened. And here's a plot of the weather map from that day. 29 people, all of the people on board, the crew, died, and they had hurricane-force wind gusts and 25-foot waves. And it was carrying some sort of metal on board. Iron ore, yeah. So it was very heavy load that it was carrying. But really, really sad. And I have on here John Neese. For those, actually, let me ask you guys, do any of you not know what Weather World is? And it's okay if you don't. Okay, so Weather World is a show that the Weather Communications Group produces every day. And John Neese on Wednesdays does a segment called Weatherwise, which Addis is now learning to just love and appreciate. He makes the graphics for us. Back in 2009, John did a Weatherwise about this. And you can find it if you just, oh, there he is, speaking of. You can just Google John Neese WXYZ and then find the one from November 2009. And there's a nice little synopsis there of that event. Another event that is near and dear to my heart, not that I was alive back then, but it's my favorite weather fact event that I just love to tell people, was the Great Blue Norther back in 1911, November 11th, 1911. The significance there is 11-11-11. Oklahoma City had their record daily high, and then they also had their record daily low. For those of you who have never been in the plains, when one of these cold fronts have moved through, it's just one of the most amazing things you can ever experience with how quickly the temperature falls. And Oklahoma City wasn't the only place that had record high and low. I think Kansas City also might have broken them, but it was just insane what happened that day. And John Neese also conveniently did a Weatherwise on that back in 2008. I think it was November 12th, 2008 that he did that, or around November 10th. But if you just Google John Neese WXYZ, you'll find his whole list of all the Weatherwises he's ever done, and you'll find one from November of 2008, one from November of 2009. They're both just fun little things. If you're sick of election coverage, you can watch that and learn a little thing or two. Just wanted to, Weather World does a snowflake contest every year, and I think we have 100, how many people submitted? 169 people have submitted so far. We do first measurable snow for now 9 cities across Pennsylvania. It used to just be 8, but we've added Allentown at a viewer's request. Quick question for you students. Do you know what constitutes measurable snow? Yes.
I'm just going to take a guess and say anything that's not a trace.
Ooh. So what's not a trace?
What's the first measure?
What's the first? Yeah.
Is it half an inch? No, it's 0.1. Yeah,
exactly. It's a 1/10 of an inch. So when you're measuring rainfall, it goes out to 1/100 of an inch. But when you're measuring snowfall, it goes out to 1/10 of an inch. So this is your average first date for selected cities across Pennsylvania for your average first snow, your first measurable snow. So that's just coming up in the next week here in State College. For places like Bradford, should have had it a couple of weeks ago. Erie's average is November 9th. None of our cities have fallen yet. Nobody has had measurable snow at these 9 locations. These are at the airports in each of these cities. Interestingly enough, that was last year's. Bradford was early, October 18th, and Erie was November 22nd. But then look at all the other places that weren't until January. So last year was a strange year. So if you're going to go with consensus, you've already messed up in a few cities, and then if you're going to go with persistence, going on from last year, that would not have worked for you, or that may not work for you this year. Who knows? There's no chance of getting any cold air here. And this is my graphic that says not much has changed in the last week. Our weather is still very boring. I don't know about you guys. It's nice, I guess, if you want to go outside and do stuff. But there's the 500 millibar chart on the left here from last Friday. And if you go through the sequence of it, which I will now get to. I'm very bad on PCs. I apologize. Which one did I? What's that?
Very top.
No, I'm not looking for that. I'm trying to get out of this. I want to go to my. Okay, here we go. If we go to this, it's easier to show you. Come on. Again, I'm not good with. Jeez, come on. I'm a Mac person, as you can obviously tell here. So over the last 5 days, this is a nice little chart on the e-wall. On the left-hand panel, you can see the 500 millibar plot, and then on the right side is the surface pressure. And this is from last Friday, and it's interesting to see that you can see that ridge in the west. It looked like it was breaking down as it came across the northeast of the Great Lakes and then into eastern Canada, but then, bam, by Tuesday, it started to build again across the west. And why is that significant for us? It's just blocking all of the cold air that right now is funneled up in northern Asia, which is a bummer because for those of you who don't know, I love winter weather, and I like exciting weather, and it's kind of a bummer that we don't have any exciting weather. This is a neat little website, Climate Reanalyzer, if you want to look at the 5-day outlook maps. I do not see anything here. Come on. It's rolling here. It's going to show you that nothing is going to really change over the next 5 days. Probably don't even need to show you guys the graphic of that. Come on. Or maybe it doesn't work on this. Here we go. I don't want the southern hemisphere. I want the northern hemisphere. So if you look on this side here, let's see my pointer right. We still just, it looks like the average temperature anomaly is still going to be very, very warm in central Canada. So, but if you look over here in northern Asia, there is a lot of cold air. It just, we don't have the chance to get a shot of it in here, which is a bit of a bummer. And going back to this guy, we look at what's happening in the US right now. There's not too much to talk about. In other places of the US, there's exciting stuff happening. If you look at what normal minimum temperatures are for this time of the year, if you look right around Minneapolis, you can see it's in the lower to middle 20s. Fun fact about Minneapolis, they have not gotten to freezing yet this fall, and their latest date for that prior to this year was November 7th, 1900, and I think 1956. And they might get there this weekend, but it hasn't happened yet, so it's been a very mild time. I just think that's pretty extraordinary when you look at what the average low is for this time of the year. Another place that's having a streak is the southeast, where, I have the numbers here. Birmingham hasn't had rain in 52 days, and that's tied for the record of 52 days without 52 consecutive days without measurable rainfall. And that breaks the record, because they're not going to get it today, that was set back in 1924. But what's interesting, if you look very closely at this visible satellite loop, one of the problems when you have a drought this time of the year is that you can, wildfires become a problem. And you can see the smoke from some of these fires here in parts of western North Carolina and northern Georgia. There was actually a lot of problems in Atlanta the other day with the smoke that was, they had a northerly wind, and they were dealing with smoke problems all the way down in Atlanta from this. And if you go to the National Weather Service main page, you'll see how many counties are under alerts for air quality because of all the wildfires that are happening down there. Unfortunately, doesn't look like much is going to happen to alleviate that in the coming days. One other quick thing I want to show you before we look at our very boring forecast. The sea surface temperatures, because it's been so warm, the temperatures of the Great Lakes, especially pertaining to us, Lake Erie, you've got the temps are in the middle 50s. That's really warm for this time of the year. And if we could finally get a shot of that really cold air, we could get some really good lake effect snow. But unfortunately, as you guys just saw, we're not going to be getting a shot of really cold air anytime soon. But it's, as you all also know, it takes a while for water temperatures to drop. And so that lake is just primed right now for the lake effect machine. We just need the atmosphere to start cooperating. But that could play a significant role later in November and December once, if, I shouldn't say we're going to get cold air, if cold air ever happens. So I guess we'll just quickly take a look at the GFS. As most of you know, there's really not anything exciting. I know there's football this weekend. Nothing's happening in Indiana for Saturday. My team is playing in Norman, Oklahoma against Baylor, which should be a good game, but there's nothing happening there. It looks like this ridge, you get this little, that's why I need a pointer. We have a trough that's going to move through very quickly through southeast Canada, northeast US, and that'll bring in a cold shot tomorrow. So it'll be breezy tomorrow and cool, but there's not going to be much in the way. I mean, it's just too dry. We don't have the moisture to give us much of any precip. There may be a couple of flakes floating around western Pennsylvania, but it's not going to be anything to be notable. And then once that moves in, high pressure is going to dominate once again. Really not much to talk about. And then next week is your last week here before the Thanksgiving holiday. And again, it looks like a very boring weather pattern, and was made for last Sunday. I was really excited because the forecast looked like we actually were going to have something happening tomorrow into Saturday, and then I came in and bragged about it to Ben because he had boring weather last week, and I bragged about it to Michael, and I jinxed myself because there's really nothing exciting. So does anybody have anything they want to look at or would like to talk about? I apologize. I wish I could make our weather more exciting. Addis.
So, does it look like after, I mean, something appears to be developing there towards the end of the period, but I noticed that there's a very strong signal for ridging in behind that. So are we looking at a pattern to continue through the next 10 days, or?
I think the answer is unfortunately yes, but we will take a look here. This is Thursday, and again, this is just the GFS. I'll believe that when I see it. And that takes you to right before Thanksgiving. Look at, I swear to you, this computer and I are not friends. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for right now. We'll have to look at, would the 12Z be in yet?
No, not the
Not the Euro?
Not the US.
Oh, no, I know the GFS, but let's see here. You can get this, I don't know if you're aware, you can get this on the e-wall, but only if you're in Walker Building. You have to be at a Penn State IP address. Fred has, I'll teach you something. This is exciting. I'll finally teach you guys something. If you go to the bottom of the e-wall and you go to your legacy radar, you click on the northeast, it's hidden here. So you click on that. But you can only, again, you can only get it here in Walker Building.
Northeast and 0C.
Yeah. Or 12Z, yeah. So unfortunately, I have to shrink it to see. But the Euro, so we have that blast of chilly air. So it'll be chilly on, or feel chilly, I guess. Oh, go back. It'll feel chilly on Saturday. But then this also has high pressure taking control late weekend, early next week. Tries to get a coastal storm to develop, but doesn't have much impact here. And there's that other storm that's got it going farther north and west for us. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to make this change, but I hope it happens soon because I'm really getting bored. I like exciting weather. Oh, there's a hand back there. Is that George? I can't tell. It's so dark. Hi.
How is the Pacific Northwest doing snow-wise? Seems like the Aleutian War was analyzing the coast and coast frequently.
I don't know. I saw a snow, the lower 48 snow depth map for this morning, and it only had, I think it was 0.7% of the U.S. had measurable snow compared to last year. I think it was 7%.
They haven't had many cold storms.
Yeah, they've been. It's not like the Pacific Northwest has had. It's been stormy there, at least in October, but it wasn't. They didn't have cold air in place when they were getting slammed by all those storms.
So there's one with the mountains, you know, getting snow and colder than we got a while.
Is there a good site you like to look at for that? Does anybody?
My sources just
You can
show
see this.
funds coming ashore and dying. I'm wondering how hard they're getting.
Yeah.
Those stars impact water all the way down to California. You can get enough rain in the mountains. So
Let's see.
There you go.
This one right here. Ah. So it doesn't look very exciting up there. So yeah, not just the skiers on the East Coast that are feeling it, but the ones on the West Coast are not enjoying it. For those of you who don't know, we have a graduate named Joel Gratz who started a website called opensnow.com. He was a big skier, and he was on the Penn State ski team and just loved snow. So he started this company called Open Snow, and he does forecasting for all sorts of ski places across the western and eastern U.S. And he tweeted something the other day about the lack of snow in Colorado and how depressed he's getting because when there's snow, he likes to ski. But that's one of those fun Penn State connections that if you ever want to check out opensnow.com. And if you are a big ski enthusiast, you can, of course, pay to have a membership to get more detailed forecasts for particular. Anything else anybody wants? I apologize that this isn't very exciting. You turn it into a dance party if you want. You want to?
Sure. I had another question in mind.
You're allowed.
So Sunday morning, saw we could get down into the upper 20s, many places.
Well,
It looks like a cold first half of the weekend.
see, the fun thing for me is that I'm only about 2 miles from here, but I've already been in the lower 20s this fall because my backyard is in a cold spot. What's the coldest we've had here so far?
31.
Okay. That was a couple weeks ago, right? So there's your, this is hard to see because and then if you want to go to,
You could try zooming in and zooming out frequently.
yeah, is that what you like, Phil?
I've seen that.
I really? Stop trying to get me in trouble. This compares, this is a nice way that Fred put on here, it compares the GFS forecast to the European forecast. And we'll do minimums. So there would be, so it's the 2 panels on the right. So it's got a big chunk of us below 32. And then I guess that next line is below 30. And GFS not as bullish as the European for that one. And if you want me to pull it mouse, I can pull it mouse.
Yeah, I think it had us in the upper 20s.
That'll be chilly.
Yeah.
Also next week, since the high will be over us, you know, it'll be the annoying thing that we've had this week where you leave in the morning and you're cold, but then by the time you leave in the afternoon to head back to wherever you're going, you're sweating because you've got too many layers on. I don't know if fog will be our problem next week because we really don't have much moisture to be working with, but sometimes in the fall, fog becomes a problem in the valleys.
Was it this time last year we had like the several days stalking the fog, or was that later?
Oh, when we had the, are you talking about the award-winning photo that was taken last year? I don't know, I'd have to go look through.
Yeah.
I think it was early December. We had those mornings where we had the, I don't have the dates on the picture. Was it December 10th? That was cool though last year when we had all those. That was neat. Yeah. Anybody else? I'm sorry. Again, I shouldn't be apologizing. Oh, look, George has a
Just
question.
a comment on last year's fog. Walked up Musser Gap, halfway up the mountain in the morning while the cab was, and looking out, you see the vast sea of fog with this one little clear spot between us hanging over Old Main, not turning off the fog.
Really? Oh, that's neat.
You could just see that piece of campus from the feet down.
Nice. That's my new favorite, one of my new favorite places to hike, by the way. I'm really enjoying the Musser Gap trails over there. Yeah, if you guys don't know, we've got some good hiking within 5 minutes of here. You guys are hiking enthusiasts. So, all right, who's next week?
Dave Melbeck from Ashland.
Oh, we have an active person coming next week to greet you on your travels before you head home for the long break. So maybe he'll get lucky and there'll be something much more exciting. So, but I highly encourage you to watch those weather wises that John put together. Just something to learn about the history of different weather events. So, have a great day, everyone.